Albert Einstein said that it is the supreme art of a teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Our next award is the Sarkin Award for Excellence in Teaching, which goes to UB professor and three-time alumnus John Crassidis. Well known among his peers as an expert in guidance, navigation, and control systems used in space exploration, John is equally renowned for helping his students bring such knowledge to life. Among many examples, in 2010, a group of students was selected by NASA to spend a week in Houston testing an experiment they designed on weightlessness, while another was chosen in 2011 by the U.S. Air Force to participate in its nanosatellite program. In 2012, John was an advisor to a student group that competed for and won the opportunity to host the student-led Space Vision Conference. Speakers included experts from such esteemed organizations as the Goddard Space Flight Center, Kennedy Space Center, and Langley Research Center. Because of John's ability to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge in his students, we present him with this year's Sarkin Award. Congratulations, John.
Well, before I officially begin, I just want to say a few things. Number one, professor in front of a microphone, and number two, a two-minute time limit on speaking is the clearest definition of an oxymoron there is on the planet. So I'm going to try to keep it brief, and I just lost 30 seconds right there. When I was a young assistant professor, my faculty mentor, John Junkins, came to my office, and he was explaining to me the difference between a PhD student and a professor. And he used a broomstick bristle analogy. And he said, when you're a PhD student, you're on the broomstick side. You've got that one big thing to overcome, and that's that dissertation. When you're a professor, you're on the other side. You're on the bristle side. You don't have that really big thing to overcome, but you have 1,000 of them to do. And boy, he was right. And I'm going to take that a little bit further. As we all know, when you take a broom and you sweep it on the floor, one side becomes dirty and the other side becomes clean. And for us professors, those dirty bristles are the jobs we don't like to do. Those are the ones like writing the proposals, managing the budgets, and all those fun things that we get to do. They're rewarding in the end, but not necessarily fun. On the other side, the clean side, are all the stuff that we really like to do, and that's the research side of things. And by far, the cleanest bristle that I have is teaching, because that is the most rewarding thing I ever can experience, and my wife can attest to this, because when I see the joy my students have, as an example, I just gave a project in orbital dynamics where they plotted a real orbit of a spacecraft, and the students come up to me and say, I got it, and they're so excited about it. That makes me so happy. Or when one of my PhD students finally makes that research breakthrough, I get so excited about it. Or when the students found out they were going to actually, that little nanosat that they're building, NASA's really going to launch this and put it into space, and the joy that they had, that makes my job just so much better. And I got to tell you, teaching aerospace engineering students, these students knew very early on what they wanted to be. There's a saying in the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, when did you know? And I'm quoting that because most people that are in aerospace engineering, or anything in the aerospace field, knew pretty early on that they wanted to do that job. And there aren't too many jobs that can say that. Well, with the exception of video game design, except that my 12-year-old says, but. So I've been very fortunate to teach tremendous great students that had great enthusiasm. And I've been very fortunate to be part of that enthusiasm. So what I really want to do is dedicate this award, not for me. My job was actually really easy. I want to dedicate it to these great students. And one of them is actually on the podium right here. Leslie Weitz was one of my students who won the George Thorne Award. Just a fabulous student. So again, I want to dedicate this to the great students I've had through the years, and I look for many other great years ahead. And I also want to thank Tim Siderakis and Lisa for nominating me as well, and Bethany, who's out here too, for putting all this together, and the UB Alumni Association. It's been such a great ride. When I left Buffalo for 9 years, I worked at NASA Goddard. We have a little friendly rivalry with JPL, but that's okay. Yeah. See, I get this. I'm up after Jeff, and I can say NASA Goddard rules, but And then I went to Catholic University in Texas A&M, and I got the opportunity to come back to Buffalo in 2001, and I immediately jumped on that. And it's been great to come back to see the growth and all the great things that have been going on here in Buffalo. And finally, I want to thank my wife. When Lisa and Tim had my chair celebration back in November, I got to spend about 15 minutes with my wife talking about her. And I could easily talk 15 minutes more, but I don't think you're going to give me 15 minutes, right? So I'm just going to leave it to the great words of Jackie Gleason, and that is, baby, you're the greatest. And thank you. Thank you. I'm actually not done. That was just a warm-up. I have about an hour to go. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.